you guys touched on it in the podcast I heard this morning, but and I'm going to lump it all together, but I think it's government. I think there's many things that fall under that, and I'm not anti-government. I don't think this is the right podcast for that anyway, but it's, to me, that's the biggest concern because, okay, you take tariffs, obviously that's an impact, but then, local governments with bans on, area lakes for, there's just a new report about I think it's Minnesota or Wisconsin, and they're trying to say it's messing up the bottom of the lake. That's eventually somebody will take that and it'll affect all boating, so you look at that, there's a lot of misinformation on that. Thank God for, organizations like the WSIA that helps fight those battles. And a lot of people assume it's just for the towboat industry, but it's really all of boating, because how anytime there's government stuff, once one person gets regulated, everybody will get regulated. That's tied to that. You might throw that with media, but I think the government has an impact on that. And then there's a lot of local stuff going on, even with Quebec has Bill 96, which it's been on the books for years, but now they're starting to implement it to where every manufacturer has to have, if you want to sell product in Quebec, you have to have all your manuals and your advertising, and everything has to be in French. And we find out that has to be in French. There's a huge cost to that, which, if you make the choice to do that, that just goes right back into the price of the boat, and then that drives the price up even more. So I think government, to me, is the biggest concern coming up. I think you guys did hit the nail this